What's up guys, Kobe Cheese here with another video, this time showing off my solo mapping Rarity Tanky Marauder. That's right, we're going to be doing a 69 shore map right here. This is going to have 2 additional rogue exiles, so it should be able to show, just show how I'm able to deal with most situations by myself that normally I would skip on other characters, all the while farming with, a decent amount of magic find. You'll notice I'm sitting at 4,000 life. And I also have a 1500 energy shield buffer. Whoa, wait, what is that? Is that oh my god, that's Ignophoenix. Okay. I'm not really ready for Ignophoenix just yet. Normally if I'm going to fight an Exile that hard, oh my god, he's killing my zombies, stop it! Well, I'm going to put vulnerability on there. Let's see if we can kite it around here. Well, this is a good example of how to show off, just how good my character is. But for now, let's go ahead and resurrect some of those zombies and get my summoned skeletons ready to go, and then we'll go back and we'll fight Ignophoenix. Doesn't seem like she's chasing this far so far. Anyway, so right now we're farming at around 234% rarity. My gear is not quite up to par to what I want yet. I'm only level 75. I still have some items to buy. I've been searching and also trying to, get some currency from all of this map running and farming that I have been doing. Now, every time I do a map, I get to go back to town like 2 or 3 times because of the amount of loot I find, even at 230% rarity and no quantity. And it's only going to get better from there. Oh, hey, look at that. That is the invader. All right. Well, this is actually an easy invader, so not much to show off here, but we're just going to put our vulnerability on his head. Now, you'll notice there's a lot of people doing these summoners recently, at least from what I've seen. And, I wanted to do a character that can farm maps solo and also have a decent amount of rarity gear on him. And initially I did a righteous fire character. I did make a mistake and get killed by the metalsmith, so I started over and I was like, let's just do summoner. It's easier. I can pick up items while my minions kill things, and it works really nice. I did want to I waited a little bit to do this video because I wanted to show off the various summons. I wanted to say, hey, let's try out the Tentacle Miscreations, for example. Let's try out Flame Sentinels, and I did try them out, and they really were not that impressive. These evangelists, whatever they're called, the bubble guys that you see here, they're actually really strong. They can kill stuff very fast, and they don't die because they have bubbles, and then you don't die because you're inside the bubbles. So anyhow, we've got our summon skellies ready to go. I'm just trying to clear out. This is like monsters just keep coming. They're like roaches. They don't ever stop. Well, then again, roaches kind of run away. So I guess monkeys would be like roaches. I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here. Let's go back. Come on. Where you at? Okay, here she is. So we're gonna put vulnerability. If you put vulnerability on the head of Ignophoenix, she actually does not regen. You'll notice she's a low life character, so she's low on life, but you gotta kill this big ES buffer that she has. So I'm going to put that on her. She's probably going to wreck. What I did is I pushed down my my skeletons, and I'm using smoke mine here in order to reposition my minions, try to keep them, at least around me. I want the bubbles to be in a safe spot around myself so that I can be protected if she throws out a big volley of spells. Oop, there's a little bit of damage. All right, let's just kind of pull them back. Looks like most of my zombies are dead. We're still going to kill her, though. Her energy shield is gone, so there's not too much left to do. She shouldn't be able to kill the bubbles. They just want to run up and like tank her for some reason. All I want them to do is just stand at range and attack her, but they're doing that slowly. And as long as I keep vulnerability on her... Oh, there he goes. Yeah, like I said, as long as I kept vulnerability on her head and kept repositioning my minions, she finally went down after a little bit of coercing, I should say. So we're going to have to resummon the minions. Now, this is what I do whenever I resummon minions. I actually have 2 auras. I'm running Purity of Elements as well as a Discipline aura. And I do have Clarity, and this is what I basically use if I have to resummon a large quantity of zombies. I don't have a lot of regen, and it's actually a cool thing about this is one of the only casters that I've done that doesn't require a massive amount of regen to actually function. So usually on most casters, I have to go Eldritch Battery in order to sustain the mana cost of all of the abilities, as well as run Arctic Armor, which is usually the defensive option. This is my first time I was able to pull off a character that used Energy Shield as a buffer, as in addition to life, for example. So I'm really excited about it. I like having that extra ES buffer. Obviously, you still need chaos damage, and you want to get a huge health pool as well. But it just makes me feel a whole lot safer. I hardly ever have to use potions for my own HP. So most of the time I'm using them to heal up my minions. Now I've got both of my flasks rolled with seething and animation, which means that every time I use a health potion, I heal my minions. You'll notice I have the health bar showing on my minions here. And if I see them getting a little bit low, I'll just start popping my health potions. Doesn't matter if I'm low on life. I pop them to heal my minions, to keep my zombies alive so I don't have to resummon those damn things. So the general gameplay here, if you haven't noticed already, is I run up to a pack, I put vulnerability on them, which allows my zombies and my specters to do additional damage. They all do physical damage, so I don't have to worry about things being resistant to fire or cold or anything like that. That's very good. And generally what I'll do is I'll run into a pack, curse them, and then I'll put down a smoke mine and activate the smoke mine. And that's where you'll see all of the minions just kind of like teleporting to me in that little smoke cloud. Not only does this provide me a little bit of defense in the form of everything around me being blinded, so I'm not going to take hits from melee monsters that are around me, but it puts all the bubbles on top of my head as well as on top of my zombies and keeps all of my minions packed up into a nice little group. It's a good amount of micromanagement. It's like moving your it's like if you ever played StarCraft and you moved your group of Marines in a tight little pack, and they kill stuff faster because they're all focusing things down a lot better. Now, as terms of focus, you'll notice I have an arc. I actually haven't leveled that arc. The only reason I use arc, it's not for shock stacking, because I definitely do not shock stack. The arc that I use is simply used for telling my minions, hey, attack this monster. Sometimes there's a rare monster that requires me to kill fast, like a summoner that's resurrecting everything. What I'll do is I'll just go smoke mine next to it, and then I'll right-click my arc. Oh, nice, a chaos orb hype. Anyways, I'll use that arc and I'll target the enemy that I want my minions to attack, and they'll focus that down, so I can focus down totems and specific enemies much easier by telling them to attack with the arc. The other thing that I'm using is flesh offering. Every time I see a bunch of corpses, for the most part, I'll just go ahead and pop that flesh offering, and that gives my minions way more move speed than normal, as well as that attack speed boost that's going to cause them to just go crazy mode and attack very fast. I've also got a leap slam. You'll notice I'm actually using bright beak. The bright beak uses or has a really fast attack, so I can leap slam very quickly and reposition myself. And it also comes with a couple of resistances, which makes it nice to use on a summoner. If I still needed even more resistances, I can use an arm Vorax, but for now I do like that Bright Beak for the leap slam speed. The last thing that I have is the Desecrate, which I don't use that often, but if I ever need to get a couple of corpses for like a boss fight to give that extra flesh offering in a longer engagement, then I'll go ahead and do that. So that's pretty much it for the gameplay on the summoner. Pretty much everything else is fairly easy. Like, I literally haven't really come into, I can't think of any situation that I really can't handle. Like, most of the really hard exiles are not so bad with the summoner. This extra ES buffer is extremely nice. I've seen a lot of people use like Grace and Hatred on summoner. Hatred works out very well. If I had enough resistances, which I don't, I would probably try to use that instead of Purity of Elements in addition to my Discipline. I don't really think I would want to use Grace. It would be nice, like I can make myself tankier. I can be, I can go Iron Reflexes, but I thought that the ES buffer was much better in my case, since I don't get hit that often, and when I do get hit, it's nice to see that my life doesn't get dropped at all. And then the ES is really badass for your minions. Like, since there's so many minions, like a lot of times there's one or two, or a couple of them that are taking the hits, but most of them are not going to have that ES buffer chunked down, so it requires less healing on your part. You don't have to spam your potions as much, and therefore when you do use your potions, it's much more effective. You always have those charges up ready to go for those dangerous situations. So it's very nice. I definitely recommend Discipline. Hatred, again, would be pretty nice. It would give that extra little bit of damage, but honestly, if you haven't noticed already, I am already doing a lot of damage, so I don't really need that, for example. So let's go ahead and talk about the passive tree that I'm doing on the Marauder, and I want to talk about variations of my build. Marauder is not necessarily the best for summoner. I'm just doing it because I decided to go dedicated solo magic finder. It was easy to get a lot of resistances and get tanky with the Marauder. So I'm just going to spend a quick minute here on the tree and show you where I went. So we went over here to the diamond skin. Eventually I'm going to grab the extra +1s. We're going to take ourselves all the way over here into thick skin. Eventually we can get iron reflexes. Don't have it right now, but if I go into party play and someone else is running grace, we can grab that easily. We're going to finish grabbing all of these life nodes. Of course we have all the minion nodes on the tree. Minions over here, and life and mana. We've got minions, life, a couple of extra aura nodes, and more resistances with life. And once again, minions. Now I actually meant to take this damage node here instead of this one, so eventually I'll grab that and then take that one out. And to finish the build off at the end, after I've gotten all these life nodes, all these little resists, I can go ahead and grab even more life right over here, and that's going to leave me at 294% extra life. Now, if you're not doing a Magic Find Marauder like I'm doing, then you can play as a witch and do a low life Shavs build. I'll have a link in the description below to that alternate setup. With the Shavs build, you can run a lot of extra auras that are super buffed for your minions and also great for party play, but that's not the subject of this video. So let's move on to the items. Alright, last thing to talk about is the items that I'm using, as well as the links on all of these skills. So let's just see here. We got the Bright Beak for the resist with Leap Slam and a faster attacks. Don't mind that gem there. We got let's see, Raised Zombie here on the helmet. Just a Rarity helmet. We got Raised Zombie with Multi-Strike, Melee Splash, and Minion Life. Now some could argue that you would want to put faster attacks for more damage on there, but I want them to stay alive. Now, better thing to do would be to have a +2 minions helm, but I'm just trying to magic find and I haven't found one that is good yet, so that will come later. A Will of the Storm Cell, that's because it has magic find. I would get a better shield if I wasn't magic finding, but we got faster casting, Flesh Offering, and Desecrate. We've got a crappy ring there that needs to be replaced. We need to replace this one, but it's got Rarity, so I'm using it. Rarity on the amulet with some resist. We've got a pretty badass chest here, which is really expensive. I spent 8 exalts on this one. It's 5 linked. It's basically just got life, tri-res, and lots of armor ES. You don't need something that's crazy, but I wanted it, so I got it. That's the main thing on the Magic Find build, is your chest is never going to have Magic Find, so you can just get the best chest possible. That's what I did. Now we're using a, I think, let's see, Val Summon Skelly is linked with Blind, Minion Damage, and Item Rarity. So, actually, this is weird. I can actually put a 5th link on them. Right now I'm using Ray Spectre for snapshotting. I'm not going to explain snapshotting in this video. It would take too long. I'm going to actually do that in another video. So check the description down below if you don't know what snapshotting is and you would like to know how I snapshot. Alright, so we've got our arc just kind of placed in here so that we can use that. Vulnerability, Smoke Vine, increased area of effect, and then reduce map. I'm just leveling that gem for no reason really, but yeah, I guess it fit there, so there we go. Most of the reason, or mostly just vulnerability and Sogmon, that's the main things you need here. Discipline, Purity of Elements, Clarity, and reduce mana. There we go. Those are the links that I'm currently using. My items that I'm using for snapshotting: Skullhead, Tabula Rasa, which you can get for 1.5 exalts. That's pretty much the most expensive thing in the build that's required. But you can get that just by leveling up a little bit and, you know, doing your thing. Shitty Breath, that's really cheap. Queen's Decree, and the Sunblast. I actually was lucky enough to find this, but if you're going to be snapshotting with a Trap Gem, which is what I do for that extra, you know, damage, then I would go ahead and do that. So if you want to see more about snapshotting and how exactly I do snapshotting, what all that stuff means, then go ahead and check my next video. Check the description below. I've got an entire thread dedicated to this particular build, so I'll talk to you guys about that later. As far as the summoner build, that's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will be seeing you around twitch.tv/ColbyCheese if you want to see some more gameplay live and ask me questions there. Alright, thanks guys for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Peace out.